Hi, I'm Jeff Phillips, and in this tutorial I'll be showing you how we can use Inkscape's built-in function plotter to produce a graph of a function, but then how to improve it, because sometimes using the inbuilt graphing facility, the graph itself can have little jagged bits and be a little bit off when you zoom in. I'll show you what I mean. First of all, I'll grab the rectangle tool and let's just draw a rectangle, which you must use before you use the function grapher in Inkscape. And then under extensions we go down to render and function plotter. You can see I've already entered in some ranges here and I've made it a pi scale, and I've got x sine x. I'll simply click apply and close, and you can see there's a function. That looks pretty good, but I might just click the selection tool. I'll zoom in up here and you can see there's these wobbly bits here. That doesn't look good at all. Now if you're producing a poster, that might show up and be quite unsatisfactory. For probably an A4 sheet of paper you don't really notice it much, it doesn't matter. I'll just change the colour to red, shift click the red, and I'll bump up the stroke width, see if that affects things, say up to about 0.7. Looks okay, but again if I zoom in here you can still see those wobbly bits. Well, I've discovered a little bit by accident how we can get rid of this, and that's to click on it, which I'll just check it is selected. Yes, I'll click on that. Then again under extensions, modify path and flatten beziers. I find a setting of about 10 is okay in here. If I click apply and close, you can see it's straightened out that graph. Now I think technically it's actually converted the joined points to straight segments, but there's so many of them you can't tell. It still looks pretty smooth. If I zoom out, it looks fine. If I zoom in, to an incredible extent, it's as sharp as anything. So that's one way of getting a nice sharp graph, or sharper than usual graph, in Inkscape. If you don't want the rectangle, you can click on that and delete, and you can manipulate this now. If I click the end for nodes tool, you can see it's still actually probably at 1,000 points. I can't remember when I did that graphing. You can set the number of points, might be 1,000 or 300, looks more like 1,000 perhaps. Now if that becomes memory intensive, you can go Control L to simplify, and that might be okay, but it's reduced it to 3, 6, 9, probably 15 or so points. But again, if you zoom in here, it looks a little bit wonky. I'll Control Z to show the difference. So it did affect the graph a little bit. So maybe the compromise is to leave the large number of points. Just go back into extensions, render, and that function plotter. Oh, you can see the number of samples, 1,000 there. You could perhaps reduce that to 500 and see how you go if you wanted to reduce the amount of memory, but I'll cancel out that for the moment. So there you go, there's one way of sharpening up and smoothing the graphs a little bit. Once again, thanks for watching.